Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Mark.
I'm Britton.
And today we are going to do something a little bit different. Usually we reserve this for movies, TV shows, things like that. But every now and again we like to kind of branch out a little bit. So this is our first music album that we're going to be listening to.
Yes.
And I decided to start with something that was a very popular album. Actually, I think it has the record of spending the most consecutive weeks on a chart. The Billboard Top 200 has like 917 weeks on there.
Yeah.
So Dark Side of the Moon. Let's just get started because this album is probably one of the better Pink Floyd albums. I say that, but there's a lot of Pink Floyd albums I like better. Actually, I do. I like Wish You Were Here, and I like The Wall better, and I like. I don't like the Final Cut more, but I like it like almost as much.
All right.
I don't know about you, because I grew up on this album. I listened to it a lot when I was 15, 14 years old, and then kind of as I went on. Was this your first time listening to the whole thing all the way through, or have you watched it before?
Well, I think the first time listening to it all the way through was in conjunction with Wizard of Oz.
Ah, yes, The Dark Side of the Rainbow.
And, like, Pink Floyd was never, like... It was never a band I actively listened to, but it would never turn it off if it was on, type deal.
Yeah, I know. I hear from a lot of people that's kind of the boat that a lot of people seem to be in, where, like, of course, I'm a big fan, but I know most people are like, yeah, they're okay, I like them, they're all right. They're not my go-to, but, there's some songs I like by them.
I fully recognize that, they are a, very talented band, and, have contributed a lot of music that was influential in upcoming bands in the future. That came after. To me, I guess I'm just a, me, I'm just a mellow, laid back kind of guy, No, you're not.
But like for some reason, the music just kind of. Like, I can just kind of lay down and, I can go to sleep to it. I told you that I used to sleep to this album a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned that during the portion where the lady was screaming.
Yeah, the screaming song, The Great Gig in the Sky. I used to, like, and the funny thing is, because that was, like, song 4, and that was right about the time I was drifting away, and that's what I'd go to sleep to a chorus of screams.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and that explains a whole lot.
Yeah, and that's why I have to, I wake up with my good morning scream and everything like that.
I live on a constant state of uncertainty. I am
Call you
always,
Heisenberg.
I am.
All right, go ahead.
I am always on edge. Like, I don't know when that other shoe's gonna drop.
That other shoe has dropped so long ago that now we're getting a third shoe into the mix.
Like, that is too many shoes.
Maybe for you, 3 shoes is too many, but for me, 3 shoes is not nearly enough.
Like, I don't know if I could take a third shoe.
A third shoe? Nothing. I'm preparing for my 6th shoe.
What are you, six shoes, Magoo?
They call me the old 6-shoer. Now, I guess about this album, I did want to talk about some of the more popular songs that go through, because, again, this is our first time really talking about an album, and I am going to start, before we go into some of the nitty-gritty with some of the songs, and talk about the overall impressions, because, again, I do like this album a lot. I do kind of enjoy how there's almost like an ebb and flow, or maybe a wave, where it'll start off with something kind of high paced and like moving, and then they'll kind of drop it down a little bit, something slower, and then they'll kick it right up, because they go from Time, which is though it's not the most rockin' song in the world, it is kind of faster paced than the next song with the screaming lady, because it goes from a high, like, oh, okay, we're doing well, and then it just drops down, and it's like, oh, we're gonna scream it out a little bit with some gentle melodies.
The way I describe the album is, it's a mellow album with sinister undertones.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the first time this is the first album I ever heard by Pink Floyd, and someone brought it over just to do the Dark Side of the Rainbow thing with the Wizard of Oz, and it was the neighbors across the street, and I didn't know anything about them until they did tell me later on that they did another Brick in the Wall, but I didn't know that. So I just assumed that Pink Floyd was like a spooky album, like a spooky group that did spooky things.
Like, you immediately associated him with the Tin Man.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah. But like this was being the first album I heard by them. It really didn't do anything to assuage that spookiness factor or fear that I had, because there's a lot of guys just laughing in it like crazy people. And again, you got the screaming. I was like, talking about lunatics and everything like that. Yeah, so like, yeah, this was definitely a very strange and spooky album for me to start on. But I did kind of like it.
Yeah, it's. I genuinely don't remember the first. I think the first song by Pink Floyd I always heard was Another Brick in the Wall, and I always associated it with anti-school, so I was always so excited when it came on the radio. And I'm like, yeah, school stinks, and my parents like Pink Floyd, so therefore they hate school.
Yeah, I can bond with them on the whole school issue.
Yeah.
You must have really liked that one song by Alice Cooper. School was out for summer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. It only applies to one specific situation in school.
So, I think the two, I'll say the three main draws in this album, the biggest songs were probably Time, which I think is one of their bigger songs, Money, which is probably one of their most famous songs, aside from Brick in the Wall, and I'm gonna say the one with the lunatic on the grass, the Dark Side of the Moon one, that happened at the end.
Yeah.
Those are probably the ones I hear on the radio the most, and Us and Them I hear every now and again, and that's all the songs I have lyrics to them, basically. Except for the very first one, but yeah. So Time is probably one of my. I think I know I said it when I was listening to this. That Time is probably one of my like top three like Pink Floyd songs. Mm-hmm. So I definitely, I always enjoy hearing it, and I even know like that whole beginning part. I think I know most of that by heart. Like I know when the beat's gonna drop and they're gonna start singing. I know the whole boom, 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 and
it really. Kind of ramped up the crazy. Especially in the beginning of that song where it was just non-stop alarm clocks.
Oh, yeah. Bells.
And I just felt my blood pressure in my neck.
It's like, we said when we were listening to when Money came on with the cash registers and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is the noisiest album I think I've ever heard. I remember when the bells were going off in Time, you were like, I'm close to the edge, Mark. Another few seconds
like
and it's over.
Balling my fist.
I'm like, just calm down. They're a very mellow group.
Yeah, a mellow group with alarms.
Yum yoho renji kyo, Britain. Come on.
No, we're not doing that.
That's supposed to get you charged up, actually.
Oh, is that what that's for? I thought it was supposed to like calm you down.
No, I said it as a joke when we were doing our Cloak and Dagger Heart thing, because it's supposed to do the exact opposite. I think it's like supposed to be a mantra to get ready to action of some kind. I don't know. I heard that from Inner Space, so it's probably true.
Inner
Space wouldn't lie to me.
Like, that is how I learn about different cultures. Is through Inner Space.
Inner Space
and
was...
Martin Short.
And so I guess the last song to talk about is the Dark Side of the Moon song. I know it's got a name to it, but I can't remember it now. I think every song has a name, except for the untitled ones, and that one song without a name. But anyway, I remember that was almost like the zenith of the creepiness for me, the spookiness, because I remember listening to it in my bedroom, and they were talking about like, the lunatic is in the hall, and I'd be like, I'd check out just to make sure it's not a lunatic just, I don't know, traipsing down the hall or whatever, walking towards my room.
I would think that if you being a kid in bed, like your parents might question who this gentleman is traipsing through the hall.
They weren't there. They were probably at work or something.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I forgot like your mom worked the night shift and all that.
Yeah, so I was like, if there was a lunatic just kind of sashaying down the hall, like with his arms out, like, ha 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 ha. Like, there's nothing I can really do about that. Maybe shut the door on him.
Like, if they're sashaying and making all that noise, and you have a good head start.
They're lunatics. The only way out is through the hall. I can't go out through the window. That would take too long. They would sashay their way to me in time. The window's locked. You got me.
what does he do? What in your childlike mind? What would you imagine the lunatic was going to do?
Wear me like a skin suit.
Oh, okay. Then then I guess it was fairly legitimate fear. If you thought he was just going to go a boo and then leave,
no, no, not at all. I don't think he would have done that. Just wear me like a whole, like a skin suit, and then, pretend he was me for a few days.
That's an awful lot of work to go and try and take the identity of a 10-year-old boy.
But to be fair, there wasn't anyone in the hall, and it was just a spooky song.
No, I'm just trying to think, like I'm trying to put myself in the head of
shoes.
Yeah, like, what do I have to gain by traipsing noisily and laughing through the hall?
I can tell you one thing: if the lunatic's doing that, sashaying, having his arms out, laughing like that, he's not really thinking, logically with everything.
And what, to wear a kid's skin?
Yeah, I mean, he's just having a good time, like he's just doing what he wants to do. If I get him, I'll wear him. If not, maybe I'll have an ice cream.
And not only that, it's like, wearing the skin of a child is going to be awfully snug. Especially after you tan it, because it's going to shrink.
Oh, I didn't expect him to do all that. I expected him to just kind of unzip me and, just kind of...
Did you not know how skin worked?
Just kind of step into it and then just kind of like a morph suit. And that would be that. Like, it would also be kind of funny, like, if his, he puts it on kind of wrong, so his, face is, coming out the side of my neck or something. Like, hi, mother! Hi, father! What are you traipsing for? Get back to bed.
That was the big fear, is your mistaken identity.
Yep.
Yeah, don't matter that you're bleeding in your room without skin. They might think you were doing something bad.
Yeah. Then I'll get in trouble. Then I'll be in timeout.
I'm wearing your skin, and I'm breaking the coffee table.
Don't do that! Don't do that! Oh, no.
I'm letting the dogs out, and they're gonna run away.
No, please don't. Oh, I'm in so... Alright, who let these dogs out? It was I, Father. Mark.
Here I go, and I'm gonna shake your dad's beard.
No, don't do that. Hey, you sashay your way over here right now. Yeah, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, in hindsight, I can see why.
I think the only lunatics in the hall were, my dogs, so I kind of looked at them kind of funny. The lunatics are my dogs.
They like to eat my Lincoln logs.
The lunatic is on the phone. So yeah, that was the only song that kind of freaked me out really the most. Just the screaming I could get through. As long as I could fall asleep before the Lunatics song came on, I was aces.
I think the reason you didn't like it is because it was keeping track of where you were.
It was keeping track of, this song was straight up listing the places that a lunatic was, and in case I ever became a lunatic, it would just give away my position.
Yeah.
The lunatic is in his bed. Hey, stop that!
That, or, if you were ever to become a lunatic, you at least know the places to go. You're fully prepared for the lunatic life.
If I'm a lunatic, you better believe I'm gonna be sashaying everywhere.
Do they sashay? I kind of pictured them more of a lurking or looming type.
Yeah, maybe, but that's not the lunatic I want to be. The lunatic inside me is wanting to break free, Brandon. He wants to sashay down the hall.
I'm gonna get you.
Mark, please stop it. I'm tired.
No, I'm going. Yeah, I'm gonna go away and get skin.
Ow. That's just you hitting me.
Ouch!
Oh, why'd you go and do a thing like that?
What'd you do that for?
Is my nose bleeding?
I'm a desperate man. I got a gun.
Stop it, Mark. I'm very tired.
Please. I had a long day.
Now, would you... I can't say would you do this because you're not the sashaying type.
No, I'm definitely not.
Like, if you became a lunatic, I think that you would just be more of the, like, parking your car and putting, like, a hose in it in the garage or something, and that would be it.
What, I'm suicidal?
Yeah, that's your lunatic tendencies.
I thought you were going to go more like you're more of a Ted Bundy, but, you need to have charisma in order to be that. So you're just going to go kill yourself.
No, that's not what I meant at all. Well, okay, I guess we're learning a lot about both of us.
Yeah.
My lunatic tendency is just Ed Wynn, walking around like a jackass. And your suicidal tendencies are, I wish I was enough like Ted Bundy, but I don't know if I can be. Yeah, I guess I can see it.
I guess, yeah.
Was Ted Bundy the one who ate people?
No, that's
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jalmer. Chalmers, get in here!
Skinner! Oh, Superintendent Jalmer.
Chalmers, were you eating the students again?
No, I was eating the students.
Yeah, you got me.
Stop that. Just stop that now.
Give me another chance.
Okay.
I can't say no to that face.
That's not even my face.
Chalmers!
And then he starts running out of the room and they freeze frame of him chasing it. Ding!
He's the principal, he's the soup. He puts the students in the soup.
I hope you guys are writing this down because this is gold we're giving you. People love their shows about serial killers. Actually, they do, apparently.
Yeah, it's huge.
But
not 80s sitcom serial killers.
Is this going to be, can this be considered our first true crime podcast?
No, but it could be our first fake crime.
I don't know. I don't remember everything about all of our podcasts released so far, but we've had to have talked about fake crimes before.
I think
stealing the Pope's wig. That's a crime.
He's taking my wig, police!
What kind of wig are you picturing?
Powdered.
Okay, I was okay. I was thinking
what, like the 60s beehive hair?
No, I was thinking like a one of those redhead curls kind of like almost like a Shirley
little
Temple.
Orphan Annie.
Yeah. Well, not the little Orphan Annie. Actually like little Stinker kind of curls.
Oh, like with the big lollipop.
Yeah.
like the turn of the century. Like he's wearing the little sailor's outfit.
Exactly. That's the wig I'm picturing.
Like this brings up far more questions than it answers.
Okay, go ahead. What's the first question I'm gonna drink?
Okay, why does he have that wig? Why does he have the little sailor's uniform? Whose uniform is that?
All right, the answer...
Who wears the uniform?
To answer all of these questions, I'll start with the last one first.
Okay.
The Pope wears the uniform.
Okay.
He wears it on weekends when he's not doing his Pope job.
Wait, the Pope gets a day off?
He gets the weekends off. They put a mannequin out there in front of the Vatican, and people will pray to that, and that's fine. So he has the weekends off. Maybe he goes out, I don't know, surfing, or sailing, I guess. He has a yacht. He has a Pope yacht.
Okay.
There's lots of bodies of water near Vatican City, I think. So
there's the entire Mediterranean.
So yeah, he can just sail his Pope yacht on there.
Is it in a big bubble?
No, I think that they don't know he's on the yacht.
He wears a big mustache, so no one recognizes him.
I imagine, when he takes off his vestibules, he's very well tanned because he gets a lot of sun. And I imagine he's got one of those big gold medallions.
I imagine he has a lot of sailors' tattoos.
Yeah, like a big anchor.
Look, I can make her dance. I don't know why he's of Dracula.
Hey, come back. Where you going?
I'm the Pope.
Not now, you ain't. It's your day off.
Oh, you got me.
Popes don't take the day off, but this Pope does. And that's why he has a sailor uniform. I think that answered all the questions. And the wig...
well, it goes with the sailor uniform.
Exactly. like when he's getting onto the when he's getting onto the yacht, he doesn't want people to see him, so he wears the sailor uniform and the wig so people don't know him.
But they just think he's a demented old man, and every time they see him, they just shake their head. It's such a shame.
Now let's go pray to the Pope. Like a stiff breeze blows it over.
I imagine it's some like grainy or grainy sounding recording of him giving his some kind of sermon. Mary had a little lamb, her face was white as snow.
Now, is this being played on wax cylinder?
I
didn't know they could rewind wax cylinders, actually, when I think about it. Now, it's gotta be a tape.
Yeah.
Reel to reel. That was a thing, right?
Reel to reel is a thing.
Okay, good. I thought I was just saying random words again.
That's actually how a lot of things were recorded was reel to reel, because it had a lot more fidelity.
So you must have taught me that, Britton. I had to have. There was no one else I could have learned that from but you.
It's potentially real. Like I know a lot of the I think the Beatles albums were recorded reel to reel, and then they would later on took the master copies and then cleaned them up digitally.
And then somehow Michael Jackson owned them.
Yep. I wonder who owns them now.
That's a good question.
It's weird to think that the Beatles don't own their own music.
Like they didn't make a dime off it. when they played for like Ed Sullivan and everything, they didn't make a cent off that.
Yeah, afterwards they had to go wash the dishes in the back.
Yeah, because otherwise they had
have
too many
money
drinks
for the cab.
Man, do you see all those people? Like cheering?
They're screaming.
And then here we are washing dishes.
I'm out of soap.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some soap. Ringo, go get the fucking soap.
What am I, the soap boy?
Yes, you are. Go get the fucking soap, Ringo.
You know, why can't I wash the dishes sometimes?
But we can always have... Why can't he... Ringo, have you gotten the soap yet?
Yeah, I got the soap. Here's your soap.
Oh, thank you. I don't like that, Ringo.
I don't like that Paul guy.
Yeah. Hey, wait, what? I am Paul.
I'm just saying. Like, maybe something should happen to Paul.
Like a rumor? Maybe we should start a rumor.
I don't know. I'm thinking we should get rid of him. And then, spread a rumor so people think we got rid of him, and then we could deny it.
Yeah. You guys need a soap or what? We're taking a soap, Ringo. Get a soap.
I'm guessing that was Paul, John and George
conspiring
against Paul. I'm guessing Paul is just sitting in the back with his feet up.
He was writing a song.
Yeah,
like, he was writing Washing Dishes.
He wasn't writing Imagine. That was John. He was writing Let It Be.
Clean the dish. No, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, it's funny. I think Paul was doing the same exact thing. Like when you said that Paul wasn't even, was somewhere else. There's no way that he wasn't, he was washing dishes. He was probably
not Paul.
He was probably drinking a chocolate milk, at the front counter. He's got his I guess there's a counter.
Yeah, he's on the
place.
Like it's at the cafeteria on like NBC or CBS or whatever the hell it was, and Paul is drinking the milkshake, and then he goes back into the kitchen, drops it into the sink, and it splashes George and Paul,
Ringo
in the face.
I imagine when he's sitting at the counter drinking and his legs kind of hang down a little bit on the stool.
Yeah, he's swinging them.
Yeah, exactly. What the funny thing is about the whole skit is that I didn't want to stop doing my Beatles voice because I just had a lot of fun doing it. I didn't care what we were saying, what we were talking about. I just liked doing the voice.
7 years ago.
On the road again? So, yeah, go ahead.
So, the original Paul McCartney wasn't killed because, any kind of backstage
It wasn't
things.
It wasn't a car accident like they say in the Paul is dead rumors.
Yeah, no, it was him being an asshole because he would never take his turn to do the dishes.
And then he would splash his chocolate milk, not even empty, mind you, into the dishwater. Oh, now we gotta get new dishwater. Ringo, where's the soap?
Hey, Ringo! You wanna make me a sandwich while you're back there? That's right, this is it. This is it. I'm not gonna take it.
I'm gonna hit him in the head with a hammer. A silver hammer. Ringo's silver hammer. I like the tune to that. Not Ringo, but you're onto something there. Go write a song about an octopus.
You go write a song about an octopus. How about that?
I think I can only think of one octopus song, yeah. Well, only one Ringo song. I'm sure he's got more from the Beatles days, but like Octopus Garden is the only song that I think that I know that he wrote. I'm sure, again, like I said, I'm sure he wrote more. But
I think Ticket to Ride was the Beatles.
Yeah, did he write that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know there was another fairly popular Ringo
He wrote
song.
I Want to Hold Your Hand. He wrote, let's just attribute all of them to Ringo.
He wrote all the bubblegum Beatles songs.
Yeah. I like to eat bubble gum in an octopus's garden in the shed.
Alright, Ringo, we gotta get you off that stuff.
I've been breathing in the soap fumes too much. Even though I recognize Octopus's Garden as being probably one of the lesser Beatles songs, I like that song a lot.
But was that while they were still the Beatles?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that was on the album Sgt. Pepper or Abbey Road, one of those two.
I'll take your word for it.
I know that the song that he wrote afterwards, when he broke up from the Beatles, it was just him for a while.
The Squid's Pantry.
The Calamari's Den. I know the song "It Don't Come Easy." I know he wrote that.
Oh yeah, that was the other one.
That's a good song. That was after Beatles. I think he wrote it with George Harrison. So
really,
yeah, 2 Beatles were in it. Yeah, half the Beatles.
At least 2.
And then
I think it's only Paul and Ringo that are left now, unfortunately.
Well, just Ringo now because
well, we got fake
mission.
we got fake Paul. We got post milkshake Paul.
I remember I used to absolutely love that Paul is dead rumor.
It is a fun rumor. I wonder if they they kind of did that, or if it was just a happy little coincidence.
You think they played it up once they kind of did it, or do you think that they were actually, once the rumor got started, they were like, well, how can we benefit from this?
Yeah. Well, it was kind of the same thing with the Roller Coaster of Love song, where it was the scream in the background, because the real thing is that they had screams in the background because it was just screams because they were on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And that was actually throughout the song.
Mm-hmm.
But the rumors started, and they were like, all right, well, you're not gonna, if this is gonna move albums, you don't really deny that rumor.
Yeah, of course.
So it could be a similar situation with the Beatles.
And just to go briefly back to the Dark Side of the Moon, the whole Dark Side of the Rainbow thing, Roger Waters has never outwardly denied it, at least as last I checked. I know he always tries to play fast and loose with it. Like the other band members are like, "Hey, did you do this to coincide with Wizard of Oz?" And I'm like, "No, of course not. That's borderline impossible to do something like that." And Roger Waters is like, "Well, I'm not going to tell you what my process is," and it kind of it was enhanced the rumors. Although I do believe that it would be funnier to start a rumor that it syncs up better with like another movie. Like, you remember that weird scene in Little Nicky where he started playing the Chicago album backward, and people are like, "Wow, I never knew." Like, it'd be funny if there was like, "Well, yeah, it coincides with one movie, but it's not Wizard of Oz. It's actually Harvey with Jimmy Stewart," or something like ridiculous.
Something really corny, like, I don't know why we have to do it in the Little Nicky voice.
It has to be Little Vicky voice now.
It actually coincides with Follow That Bird.
Oh, that's great. The Bluebird of Happiness scene. Well, that's when they're singing The Lunatic is on the Grass.
If you listen to it and you play the wall, that's during the court scene. And, that's where they tear down the wall.
If you play Dark Side of the Moon, you push play at just the right time, and Jerry Maguire it coincides completely.
Oh man, what are other ridiculous movies that
like, as far as I'm concerned, like, the more plain and less interesting the better, although Follow That Bird's gonna be hard to top. Like, everybody, actually I can't say everybody likes Follow That Bird, but it's like the most the most harmless movie that you could think of to mix with it.
If you play Eminem's first album during the Neverending Story.
If you play Straight Outta Compton at the same time that you play Little Nicky. I actually had nothing. I couldn't think of anything that would go so well with Straight Outta Compton.
During The Grinch.
If you play Korn's Freak on a Leash at the same time that you play Korn's Follow the Leader album. Actually, I think they're the same album. What am I talking about?
That's
like, whoa, mind blown.
I don't really know a lot. I didn't really buy a lot of CDs growing up, so I don't really know the name of a lot of albums.
I'm trying to think. I think in my whole life, I've probably owned less than 20 CDs. I think I had 4 Pink Floyd CDs, 3 Eminem CDs, 1 Rolling Stone CD, and just various things here and there. You know what I mean? All right, Dr. Dre 2001, or
Coolio.com.
Yeah. Or all right, the Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch album.
If you play Vivaldi's Four Seasons during the Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
it really blows your mind. Although you say that, but now I'm curious. I would like that. To me, sounds more interesting almost than Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz, because
a symphony, entire symphony,
entire symphony over violent horror.
It's interesting because a symphony is intended to tell its own story of sorts, and it'd be interesting to see if those sync in a way.
We're gonna have to just try as many combinations of albums that we can. All right, so go ahead.
Vivaldi didn't release any albums.
Okay, whatever. Tapes of whatever.
And the hit album from Vivaldi's Four Seasons.
The Four Seasons had their own album.
Winter.
Spring was the do. Was that spring?
I think that was spring.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe winter's do. Maybe that sounds
that
right.
was the same song.
I
but
know,
slow.
just exactly. It's winter. Fall. It's do. I'm trying to do the Home Alone song for some reason, and I know I realized I can't. I realized about halfway through that I couldn't do it, and I knew I couldn't save it.
I did not know what you were doing at all. This is Halloween.
That's Vivaldi's Autumn, and summer is Rock Lobster.
It's summer.
Rock Lobster.
Oh man, this is just going off the rails.
This is an insane. Though to be fair, at least for now, we're sticking to music.
Yeah, Vivaldi's rolling in his mausoleum,
rolling in his urn. What? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what albums that you've ever owned in your life, and I don't know if
I don't think I've ever owned a single album.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't listen to music until I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've told the story to you, but I don't know if I've told it on the podcast.
Well, go ahead. I'll stop you if you have.
So when I was 4 years old, I used to have a little portable, little transistor radio.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's going. Go
okay. That I used to play in my room. I'd play put it on the radio station, the local radio station at the time.
Yeah.
In the Philadelphia suburb area was Eagle 106.
Ooh.
And I remember I used to turn it on and eventually drift to sleep. And this was back in 1988.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was a very popular hit song that came on the radio, and it was Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
Oof. And
I remember trying to drift off to sleep, and this song comes on, and I remember it wrapped up, and I just turned off the radio because I was done with music from that point on. I felt like there was nothing more music could contribute to me, and I stopped listening to music until I was 13. So if anyone ever wonders how bad Vanilla Ice was, he was bad enough to make a 4-year-old give up on music.
The entire music industry.
Well, not just industry. Music as a concept was dead to me. I didn't sing at school. I didn't sing in the music classes. I didn't sing. There was nothing, but there was no happiness.
You see, if you were drifting off to sleep to the sound of screams, I think that would be a little bit different. You'd be a different man today.
Like you'd be reading about me in the paper, I'd find.
I remember when I was about that age, my 2 favorite songs in the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't 88. It had to have been like a year or 2 later. Was You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I loved that song because, I was a dumb kid at the time.
Everyone loved that song.
And Do the Bartman by the Simpsons. I had like the Simpsons tape.
You've mentioned this before.
Yeah, and but since then, I didn't give up on music like you. But I had to because the Simpsons tape was like the last album of any kind or whatever that I got until I think I was about 15 years old, and I got the second Eminem album. So I just had to make do with what my parents had, and they had a bunch of vinyl albums in the little, cupboard. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a little thing. They just had a bunch of albums, and I remember some of them I used to put on all the time. One of them was like a Winnie the Pooh song, and I really liked it. I used to sing it, dance around, and listen to it over and over again.
Your parents had this?
Yeah, they bought it, I think, specifically for me.
Oh, okay. That's a weird thing for parents to listen to.
Well, it was a Loggins and Messina. It was the House at Pooh Corner. I'd never listened to any other song on that fucking album, but the first song was House at Pooh Corner, so I would just listen to it again and again and again. But then they had some, songs that kind of scared me, albums that scared me. They had,
of course.
Oh, well, yeah, I know. I was afraid of everything. But they had, scary albums I didn't like to listen to.
Like what?
Well, let's see. One of them was a 45 of because we had this case of 45s, little
yeah, we
case.
had one,
and you open it up, you put the 45s in, and one of them was it was a Ringo Starr song, and I remember on the record itself, the 45 itself, where you put the giant thing, the giant hole in the middle, it had him. In a star or something, I don't know, and that scared me. So I guess Ringo Starr was another one of the things I was afraid of. But the song opened up with just weird noises, like a phone ringing, and then a guy burping, and I remember being I don't like this, and turning it off.
Unless life had clockwork predictability, it scared you as a child. The moment something was not in sync, it was a scary thing to you.
This is not normal. I don't like this. I'm gonna not listen to this Ringo Starr anymore. I'd write him letters and be like, "Why are you so scary?" And he'd get back "I'm not that scary." So
I've been waiting for all these fan letters, and this is the only one about a kid with a kid saying he's scared of me.
I threw all the. There's lots of kids who are scared of me. I just throw them in a pile over there. They think I'm a boogeyman.
Boogeyman.
I'm trying to think, because I know there's a few other albums that scare me. And here's the weird thing. They were probably just very innocuous albums. Like I think it was like like Quarter Flash or something, or Human League. Something
I
like
have no idea what those are.
They're just dumb groups. I can't say dumb groups. They had some good songs, but like the covers just like I was like, ooh, I don't like this. This is slightly off-putting. I'm scared now. But we also had Meatloaf's Bad Outta Hell album.
Okay.
And that didn't scare me. I don't know if you've ever seen the cover of it, but it's just like a demon riding a motorcycle out of hell. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. Oh, look at the artwork. Like, oh, and look at the way that the light shines on it. Oh, this is a really cool album.
Well, first off, it's Meatloaf. And, you can't be... He's a giant teddy bear, that man. And, second of all, I guess there's nothing in his music to scare you, because I'm hoping it's in conjunction,
it was just the album covers for some of them.
Okay, so it was just, you would see a spooky album cover and you would get scared?
Yeah. Exactly. It was like I said, I think it was Human League that had, like, it was a human face. And,
yeah.
But I guess there was 4 members of the band, so each part of, like, each section of the face was, like, cut up into 4s, was a different part of the person of the band.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a mishmash of different, pieces of face. And, for some reason I was like, well, that's not what a human face should look like. Scared now. And that would be it.
That baffles me. Meanwhile, I'm at, my parents are playing Silence of the Lambs, for me when I was a kid.
Yeah, movies didn't scare me too much.
No? Just really. Eggman?
Just Eggman, and weird, like I said, movies existed almost in their own, like, universe and everything like that. Like, I used to watch Freddy movies, like, yeah, there'd be things that scared me in it, but I wouldn't be, it wouldn't unnerve me as much. It'd be like, oh, here he comes, he's gonna kill him. Oh, that's scary. Alright, it's over now, he's a funny guy. But the things that would scare me in movies were things that were just kind of just off-kilter or just unpredictable. Like, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but in Jesus Christ Superstar, there's just this, like, segment in the song Agony in the Garden Gethsemane, and he just was like this really intense musical, like, interlude or whatever just starts playing, and they just show a bunch of paintings of Jesus being crucified and people crying and screaming, and that terrified me every time it came on, and my sister knew this. So I remember one time I was like watching it all alone in my room, and I knew the scary part was coming. I was like, okay, I can make it through, I'm not gonna get scared. My sister waited, and as soon as it started, she turned the lights off in my room, like, ah! And it scared me. Which, don't get me wrong, that's pretty damn funny. Like, I respect that kind of level of tenacity, like, of just waiting for that right moment.
It's almost predatory.
Yeah. Well. It's like despite the fact that, I liked being scared in good ways when I was a kid. I didn't like being scared in bad ways when I was a kid. Like, I didn't like, I guess, things like that I didn't understand. Freddy, I could understand because I got his shtick. He was just a murderer. People die. I understand that. A man being an egg, I didn't understand it. It didn't make any sense in the natural realm of things.
So I have a feeling it's a case where, you see this man who has become an egg, and now that's in your head that it's possible to become one.
Yeah.
And you don't know the machinations that led to his eggdom.
Yeah, why was he an egg?
And now you're scared that you may inadvertently
if I sneeze the wrong way, I could turn into an egg. Like,
and then you're susceptible to Dana Carvey coming into your home and smashing you against a wall.
I guess that's true, because if Freddy turned him into an egg, I wouldn't be as scared.
Exactly.
But if, it's like, well, what's the story? Why is he an egg now? He's an egg. Just get over it.
Well, if something happened, if, like, at the beginning of the skit, a genie turned him into an egg, I don't think you would have been as scared. Like, yeah, he's still smashed into the wall and he screamed and he's dead, but you have known how it happened, and would have been able to avoid it. I think that subconsciously that's what it is.
You unzip me, Britain. You unzip me. No, that's. Though I do agree with you. It is probably something along the lines of that. Because I don't think it was just straight up, the death.
Yeah.
I don't think it was, I think it was just, because one of my fears was, what if I get turned into an egg, then my sister has to take care of me. because I'm like, yeah, I'm doomed. What am I gonna do? I'm a fucking egg. There's no one more vulnerable in this world than a man who is now an egg.
I don't know, a baby's pretty vulnerable. They have that big soft spot on their head.
I guess if you throw a baby against the wall, it would definitely not, it would definitely die.
Yeah, I think, an egg and a baby are probably of equal...
But a baby can crawl, is what I'm saying.
A newborn baby?
I guess not a newborn.
They're just a sack of meat. You have a sack of meat that really doesn't do anything but shit and make noise and eat. That's a baby.
Now that's a baby. Yeah. So, I guess maybe like in order to confront this fear of mine, I have to
become an egg.
No. I have to.
Damn me, now.
I have to write the beginning and film it of the Eggman getting turned into an Eggman.
So how do you think it happened?
The genie sounds all right, but I think
Gypsy curse.
I was thinking gypsy curse, but I think it's something. I think he think he sold his soul for something, like I don't know, like a pot of tea or something like that.
I like to think that during a business trip to the egg country, he inadvertently insulted the egg queen, who
reigns supreme.
Who reigns supreme, and deemed him, the ultimate punishment of actually becoming an egg.
I think what it was is that he fell into an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Became an egg temporarily, and then fell back into the regular reality.
It's like the theory of the Mandela effect, except when he crossed that membrane, like something went wrong and became an egg.
Well, maybe it was a science experiment.
Oh, like he went through the teleportation machine like the Fly, but he had his lunch with him.
Oh no! You know what?
Oh, the cat's in the air somewhere, so just in case I'm in the air too, I'm gonna have my lunch with me.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna have, or he's like, he took off all his clothes, but he forgot after he was eating that the hard-boiled egg rolled into it. You know what? The more I think about it, that is the most likely explanation for how he became an egg.
Or he forgot to go through the teleportation machine on an empty stomach, so he had some deviled eggs beforehand.
Or remember, and this is gonna be a really obscure thing. Remember in Airplane, where the girl's sick and Leslie Nielsen just starts pulling eggs out of her mouth because, that's her sickness or whatever?
No.
Well, that happens. He starts pulling just eggs out of her mouth. And I like to think that he had that affliction too when he went through the teleportation machine, and they didn't pull all the eggs out in time.
And he came out of the machine like the Eggman. Meanwhile, traipsing down the street in downtown, wherever they were, there's just an egg with arms and legs meandering down the road, making people very uneasy.
You better run, egg. That's from Simpsons.
What was that?
The Egg Council.
Oh, I imagine the man egg is hit by a car, and it's like out of it's like a RoboCop, and he just splatters on the windshield. It's just a bunch of oat yolk.
I like to think, well, because the Eggman has yolk in him, because he's more egg than man.
Yeah.
No blood. I like to think that the egg that's walking around, the man egg, is just nothing but a sack of blood and organs.
So it's just organs covered by a shell.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's hit by a car and just viscera splatters this poor man's windshield.
See, car is funny, but bus is funnier. It's like you just and it's just like, it's his windshield wipers.
Yeah, I got a schedule to keep. The buses ran efficiently back then. They wouldn't stop for anyone.
It's like, hey, get out of the way! And no one can see what I just did, but it doesn't matter. You saw it.
I saw it.
Huh?
It's just the man egg doesn't know anything because it's an egg. It's barely a thing.
Yeah,
it's just doing the baby waddle walk down the road and just inadvertently gets hit by a bus.
Do you think it's kind of like think it's kind of like Frosty the Snowman, where there's like, people trying to show it the right way. Like there's a bunch of kids trying to teach it the real meaning.
Like they're, it's holding a broom and there's a bunch of kids marching behind them, and then it gets hit by a bus and sprays them with viscera.
Yeah. Like they're all singing thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump. Oh man, it came out of nowhere. You're supposed to stop at the crosswalk. They take the magic hat and they try to throw on every egg they can from then on, and that's what makes another Eggman.
Like I imagine they put the hat on the man egg and it just screams, like an inhuman, like gasping wail, like.
And they just take, like, all right, we're gonna take this hat off now.
How about the snowman? Maybe it'll be less of a horror.
Now, did they put it on his head before he got hit by the bus or after?
Maybe before.
Okay, so like that's his natural state.
It's just a state of agony.
And then as soon as the bus comes and takes it, like that was no accident that he walked into traffic.
No, like he knew it. Like, would you want to walk around with your innards just sloshing around in a shell?
No, I wouldn't want to be an egg at all, Britton.
Exactly. Oh, well, I guess that's the point of the conversation we're having.
So yeah, this is, this actually helps me. This starts the healing process right now. Thinking of the man egg walking in front of a bus. So imagine he stops, like, even though it doesn't have eyes or ears, it still kind of hears.
It has some kind of sensory perception.
Yeah, it still kind of hears the.
Like it feels the vibration of some sort.
It understands the presence, so it stops in the road and just turns towards the thing, and then just. Now, is the shell an egg shell or is it like
bone
skin shell?
Oh. I imagine it's like bone calcium. Like it's probably probably about as thick as a human skull.
Okay, I think. Well, I want to be as thick as maybe an eggshell. It still has
proportionally.
Yeah, I guess it would be about that thick.
Yeah,
because it couldn't walk. Couldn't take a step if it was like a regular eggshell thickness without cracking.
Yeah. Well, it might. Eggs are pretty strong, but still, like it's like even with a thickness of a human skull, you still gotta get Humpty Dumptied.
It can only stand upright on the vernal equinox. Other times it has problems.
He knows he's getting rotten when he floats in the bath.
If his bath is too hot, he starts to hard boil.
They have a lot of trouble, being a man egg. Do you think?
Go ahead, please go ahead.
Do you think when he's hit by the bus that Phil Hartman kind of knows?
You mean like
he senses it somehow?
He's like, he takes a second, and then he's smashed against the wall like a moment later. It's not that he's screaming because he feels his kindred spirit splattering at almost the same exact moment. And he knows that they are tethered together in this eternal dance.
Yeah, and I can't imagine, maybe, hopefully, being destroyed simultaneously, they get thrust back to the world they came from, because otherwise, I can't imagine what kind of afterlife they would have.
They're ghost Eggmen. They're walking around as just ghosts, but they're eggs.
Just this floating egg haunting this poor woman.
No, he's haunting Dana Carvey.
You killed me.
It's like Ghost, where he's like trying to get revenge on the one who killed him. Like, would you? I know the answer to me.
Yeah.
What I would say, but if an egg haunted you, would that be a scary thing to you?
If an egg haunted me, I would seek some help. Like if it was a regular ghost, I might be like, all right, I'm a skeptic, but I might have some kind of paranormal activity. If it's an egg haunting me, I think I have some kind of chemical imbalance that I need taken care of.
It's like you go to the doctor, like, Doc, there's this egg that's haunting me.
Like, if I were to see the egg, whatever I'm drinking at the moment, I'm pouring down the sink.
Unless it's Drano. And don't know why you're drinking that. If you're getting haunted by the egg for long enough, you might want to like. And it fixes the pipe, so I think that's probably the best case scenario.
But it doesn't get rid of the egg, does it?
Like, maybe you have to talk to the egg and find out what it wants.
Yeah, it wants me to get Dana Carvey. He's untouchable.
I like to think also that it's like, that's like the Sixth Sense, where, you see... Like the kids with their bullets in the back of their head and the back of their head blown out because like they don't get fixed in the afterlife. They still look like they did. So the egg is just like shattered and splattered.
I imagine that Whoopi Goldberg, she just hears a voice for a while, and until the end, and then she actually sees this whole time it was an egg. Because isn't that how it goes?
Yeah, it is. She doesn't see him at all.
She doesn't see him at all until like the very end when he ascends.
Yeah.
And like, was that a motherfucking egg?
They wouldn't play. Unchained Melody. They'd probably play "I Am the Eggman." Like, that's a weird choice of song, but all right. They do the little dance. See, now I'm thinking how they can make Ghost into an egg ghost movie, where they're not doing the pottery on a pottery wheel before they bang. They're doing like they're making an omelet or something. This movie writes itself. Egg Ghost.
Yes. Egg. I was gonna try and find a egg pun, but like poached or post.
Well, that'll just confuse people.
What is this about the mail?
You beat me to it. Is this about the mail or about hanging or about quality fencing? So on that note,
Dark Side of the Moon.
Yep, I think it's a good album. It was it's always a pleasant experience. I like how it kind of it's one solid almost song pretty much. Like each song leads into another one and then has some classic hits on there.
Very good album. Like I said before, not something I always I would always actively pursue, but nothing I would turn off either. It's like a relaxing song someone from an asylum would try and listen to, and I enjoy that.
All right, so that does it. Take it easy.
A toodaloo.
That'll hold a little SOPs.